Alright, here we are in Box Canyon. We got a little friend out here with us today. Little Gila monster. These guys are venomous, so you don't want to get too close. Beautiful guy. Out there? Connor, do you want your window down or are you good? Cow. Whoa, lots of cows.
No.
Wow, there's a whole bunch of them. Some babies in there. Big dogs. Jeez. That's as far up as my tire can go on that side. Yep. Cactus is up there going, "You shall not pass." Very crazy. Oi. Triple bump. 1, 2, 3. Fox Canyon, Martinez Canyon. Wait, but which one? Dust. Sorry. Cowboy cabin should be right down there somewhere. All right, so we're almost to the gate here at Martinez Mine area, Martinez Canyon. And this is interesting here. This has been here for a long time. A little grave with some boots on it. Now, I'm pretty sure there's nobody buried here, but rumor has it, up on this hill, there's two graves of two former, I don't know if they were military or just guards of the mine that were apparently attacked and killed by Apaches. That was told to us by an old timer that was telling us about the area. But yeah, this little grave has been here a long time. Don't know if it's a grave or it's a marker. It's got its little marker and its boots on it. All right, onward up to the gate, which is right up here. The drive through Box Canyon and up to Martinez Canyon, you come to a gate. Now this has been gated for several years. It used to be open. You used to be able to drive four-wheel drives all the way through the area, past the mining operation, and up and over the hill and back out. But it's been gated for quite a while. So this is where we depart the Jeep and we start hiking. Past the gate, it's only a short walk of a few hundred yards until you drop right into the heart of the canyon. You can see some pretty big walls up there, and it stays shaded most of the day. There's also a natural spring right in the middle of the canyon. So all this big green beautiful trees are being fed year-round by a natural spring. It's nice and cool in there. It's probably 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the desert when you're down in the canyon by the spring. So we'll get up there. Just looking back on the road we came up, and off to the right here, if you look closely, you can see some running water down in there. A really lush green canyon from that natural spring. We're about to walk right into the heart of it. So now the trail starts heading down, getting closer to the level of the water, and into these beautiful rocks. All right, now we're coming into the base of the canyon. And you can see there's not much distance between these rocks, so it stays nice and shady. And even though we're in the middle of the desert, there's grasses, trees. Shoot, we even saw some wild blackberries in here once. And just stepping into the shade between all these rocks, the temperature has already dropped. So you can be driving around, be 110 degrees out in the desert, and you get in here, and it's only about 90. But right now, today, it's going to be about 80 degrees, so it'll probably be about 70 down here in the canyon. All year round, there's a little bit of running water through here. Comes right up out of the ground. Now, as we get further into where the cabin is and the mining facility, we'll talk more about it, but this was abandoned somewhere around the 1950s because storm runoff up north washed this whole canyon out. Did a lot of damage and just made it so it was impossible to work up here. Scattered through the whole area, there's still remnants of some sort of civilization up here. Got an old cattle trough here, or a water storage thing. Probably collected this spring water for the cattle. And you can see, even though it's been decades since the big flood that pushed everybody out of the mining area up here, you can see there's still branches and debris pushed 4 or 5 feet up these trees. So water still comes through here. Every spring when the snow melts up in the White Mountains and pushes everything down here, I would imagine this is probably under 5 or 6 feet of water. But it keeps all these beautiful trees fed, that's for sure. So we're just about to pop out the end of the little boxed-in canyon here where it's all shady and cool with the natural spring. And you can see it's amazing the vegetation down in here. From the trees and bushes, there's grass growing, dandelions. We've even got some thistle right over here. But as soon as you get out into the sun, out past the grass and the thistle, all of a sudden you're in saguaro cactus again. So it's amazing how cool it stays down in here with the water and the shade and all the plants that can grow. It's absolutely beautiful. We came out of there and we're headed this way. This is one of the most amazing things about this little patch of paradise right in the middle of the Arizona desert. This is a giant patch of wild blackberries. Now, we lived up in Washington and blackberries grew all over the place up there, but down here there's not enough water and way too much heat. And yet these are growing wild right here in the canyon. Mostly shaded by this most of the time. Plenty of water coming in from runoff. A giant patch of wild blackberries. All right, let's keep heading up the trail. So here's one of the first interesting things along the Martinez Canyon trail here. Climb up. Just in here on the right hand side, it's a big cutout. You can see there's been lots of fires in here. But you go in a little bit deeper, follow Joe the Jeep dog. And there's actually a cutout section in here from mining. Rumor has it this was a brothel back in the day, and that's what people call this. They call it the brothel. I don't know if there's any truth to that. All I know, see if I can get some light on it. There we go. Is this just a big cut open section? It moves around to the right and actually has, I don't know if you can see daylight, but see a little daylight in the corner. And it loops back over to a window that looks out on the trail. This is kind of hard to see from the main trail. But if you go through the little valley, the little lush green part of the canyon, and look to your right as you come back out in the sun, there's just a little side trail right here. So go on up, take a look. Now the last time we were up here, we just walked right up the wash here, but as you can see, a lot of trees and branches have been pushed down by runoff, so we're gonna cruise up to this little upper trail. In a little bit, we're gonna come to an opening where the Martinez Mine cabin is. A little lizard running around. Joe's gonna get that lizard. So the canyon's starting to open up here. And right around the corner is the Martinez Mine cabin. And last time we were here, all these big trees and branches and stuff weren't here blocking the wash. So there must have been a heck of a storm to push some of this through here. We're going to cross the wash one more time before we get to the cabin. And this is the wash that goes right into the lush canyon down there. And as you notice, there's no water. All that water in the green canyon is all coming out of the ground. It's all natural spring. All right. See some old mining cables here. There's all kinds of stuff up here. That's one of the reasons why it's gated off. Just trying to keep everything preserved so lots of people can come up and enjoy it for the future. And as we pop up here, get your first glimpse of the Martinez cabin. There used to be a structure right here, old mattress spring. And this awesome cabin right here. That was the main cabin for the mining operation. And it is leaning pretty heavy. I feel like every time we come up here it's leaning a little bit more because there's a giant tree leaning on one side. That is the Martinez cabin. I think we could fix it up. But look at the size of this tree. Really making its presence known on the side of the cabin. If you look over here, the main wash flows right beside it. Get out of here. And it looks. We've got the main wash over here. Here's the old well. Be careful. It's one thing about this area is there's a lot of open mine shafts, wide open. Nothing is boarded up. Nothing has warning signs on it. This is just the way they left it up here. So you got to be careful. Watch your pets, watch your kids, but have fun and enjoy the heck out of it. Now it might be hard to believe, but they had power, they had running water, they had all the amenities up here. And it was all powered by these standalone generators, like this one over here. It's a big old diesel generator, or what's left of it. Probably ran power to the pumps and power to the lights. And once we get up to the main mining complex, you're going to see a lot more of this equipment. And it was all brought in on these big skids and left. So these were probably pulled in by horse, maybe partway by truck. But I'll tell you what, that thing has got to be a couple thousand pounds and is not going anywhere. So when they left all this equipment. We'll see more of it right up the trail. Come on, dog. So after the cabin, it really opens up. And this is absolutely amazing out here. So now we'll follow these dogs back into the wash and cruise up a little bit. Find some neat rock and cave formations. And then we'll be checking out the main mining operation. Coming into another little box canyon here. And this whole operation was apparently looking for silver and was pretty lucrative for a while. and all over the place. There's different mines and holes dug in. So there's one right up there on the side there. I don't know if you can make it out. See as we get a little bit closer. Right, so right up there was a mine shaft. You could see it coming from down the trail, and then it just disappears behind these rocks. But I know it's there. We saw the hole, we saw the trailing pile. Let's see if we can find a way up to it. You kind of see the opening up there. If we come around here, yep, looks like there's a trail right up here. We'll climb to get up to this one. Further down the trail past the main mining operation, there's holes in the wall that you can just walk right into. Don't even have to climb for them. Almost to this little mine, you can see there's a ton of debris pulled out of it. Big old trailing pile that you have to climb up. So this must have been a test dig of some kind. It's not super deep, but as I pan around this way, there's the wash we came up. So you can see we're probably about 40 or 50 feet up here, and you can see it from that direction, but then this rock obscures the view. All right, let's take a look. Probably only goes back in about 15 feet, but pretty amazing nonetheless. A lot of work went into it. All right, a little bit further up the wash. Come to some pretty rocky sections here, and there's some really neat overhangs in the cliff. Almost make caves over here. See, the base of the wash in some places is bare stone, just gone all the way down to the rock. Over here you can see some debris. I would imagine that this is probably from the mining operation, which is just a little ways up the trail. You can see the water just smashed it right into those rocks. And that's about 2 feet above where I am. So there gets to be some pretty raging water down here, pushing all kinds of stuff around. Right over here is a chunk of metal. I'm not sure what it was or what it was used for, but that's where it's lying. Yeah, neat cave formations here. Some more chunks of metal brought down by the rain. How many years of runoff through this valley did it take to cut these rocks this way? Pretty amazing. You can see the overhanging caves down there where we came from, coming up the trail. And as we come up this way, right past those two bushes, you'll start to see the main mining operation. I don't even know if I'm referring to that the correct way, but it's where they process the ore, broke down the rock. Oh, there's a bunch of trees in the way now. And you see over there on the right side of the wash, that used to be a small trestle that ran mine carts from an open shaft or two right up there down to the main processing unit, which we'll see shortly. You can see more of it's getting washed away every year. careful on this trail. It's rocky. Okay. All right. There we go. It's still standing. This is the heartbeat of the Martinez Mine. We'll get up to it and I'll show you some more details. All right, here we are. It's like the main processing area for the Martinez Mine. Now, I don't know if you can see right up there in the center, there was a water tank right up there at one point. And that's where that trestle used to be that ran mine carts. See the center support's still there in the middle of the wash. Ran it right over here. You can see it's all built up with mortar and rock. And over here's a kind of a cement concrete foundation. And a lot of the equipment is still in there, so we'll climb up there and take a look inside. All right, here we are inside the main processing area. There's some sort of chain-driven tumbler there, and you can see everything was driven by belts and chains and gears. Like that one had a pinion gear of some sort that turned it. There was running water up in here, obviously, and you can see that big roller right there was actually turned by a big flat belt. And what's amazing, I keep using that word, is a lot of these belts are still in here and hanging. And I'll show you where they led to. That looks like the remnants of an old straight six engine, either for turning a pulley or for pumping water or something. There's bits of debris everywhere. Looks like some cows have made their way into it. When we get over to this section, there's where something big was bolted down. Lots of debris. But when you get over here, there's a couple of units here that I think are amazing. There's that word again. Look at the size of the piston in here. Ingersoll Rand Company, New York, Imperial Type 10. So, looks like it was pumping some water. Got dual pistons. And of course, this was a big belt drive on it. You see there's sections of belt on the ground that run over to this unit. It looks like some more were bolted in here. Big, heavy, weighted wheels on this. You can see something was unbolted here. I believe that was a pulley for the belt that went over there. Giant single piston. Smokestacks going up there. Then over here is another electric generator. Got fuses on the inside. A breaker box over there. Looks like the exhaust went straight up through the ceiling. And honestly, it looks like 3 exhaust pipes in the ceiling and 3 slabs for 3 generators. This took a lot of power, a lot of water, crushed a lot of rock in here. See across there is the remnants of that trestle. Let's cruise out the back door. You can see there's more debris up here. And we're still up on kind of that rock embankment, the man-made embankment, all flattened up here. But as you come this way, things get even more interesting. More debris, more machinery up here. But I'm going to turn around and look the other direction once I get a little more height. As you can see, clear up there. Oops, I'll use one stick. Up here, big trailing pile. Another mine up there. In this little cove right here, there's actually a mine that goes straight in that you can't get to anymore. I was able to get to it a couple of years ago and take some pictures of it, but it's all washed through now. And there's another shaft right up on top of this hill. That's an open mine shaft that my son threw a rock down several years ago, and it must have dropped 100 feet, bouncing through timbers all the way down. It's just deep, wide open. Crazy. So when you leave the back of the main operation there and just keep cruising up the trail, there's a couple of really neat open mines up here. You can see some of the remnants of the equipment used to pull ore out, or rocks or dirt or whatever they're pulling out of here. But the further you get up here, the more you realize that there's a lot of trailing piles, a lot of debris. You just keep coming up this little footpath, and I believe if I look back the other direction, you can see the base of a water tower over there, that thing up there. But this little cliff face right there is where that other mine shaft with the cart tracks was from a few years ago that you can't get up to anymore. All right, keep coming up the path here. He gets to be out of breath with me. We'll go around this little tower here, chase this lizard. And not one, but two open mine shafts up here. This one we've never ventured down into. It's pretty steep. I'll get a better angle here. The small one on the side doesn't really go anywhere. But that one goes pretty far down. We've never been down in there because it is very steep. But it looks like somebody hooked up a rope or a strap or something and has been in there. Interesting. And this little guy right here. We can tell by the equipment they're definitely pulling something out of here. Check out this shaft. I've been in this before. Put my walking sticks down, grab my flashlight. See if I can put some light in here for you. It just ends right down there.
I think we've been in this one before.
Yeah, we have.
One you took a picture in.
Yeah, see if we can do this.
Want to take another selfie?
There's so much to see up here. We're gonna go a little bit further up the trail. Oh, hey, side note, that equipment that's right there, up above this one, there's a giant like winch pulley, and it's connected to a Toyota axle. So an old Toyota axle up there is doing all the power to drag an ore out of this mine shaft. We're up the trail. Just keeps opening up, keeps cruising up the wash, and just some beautiful rocky terrain up here. Wow, what an awesome hike today. So we just came from clear up that direction, back down through the nice little green canyon, and headed down the trail and on our way back to the Jeep. So I'm coming out of the cool shade, and of course, as soon as you get out, cactus. It's got this beautiful green lush stuff down here with the natural spring, the shade of the canyon. But within minutes, you're back out into the unforgiving desert. This is an absolutely beautiful hike. All right, that's the Martinez Canyon Trail. Hope you guys enjoyed this little tour with us, checking out Martinez Canyon and the Martinez Mine. It's a beautiful day for it. If you can make your way up here, I definitely recommend it. So thanks for hanging out with us. For Bowl Canyon Outdoors, this is Chris signing off. Happy trails, everybody.
Hey, do us a favor, hit that like and hit that subscribe button down there. The more support we get from you, the more awesome videos and content we're going to bring you. Thanks for tuning in.